Michelle Wie, who would have thought that from starting at just 10 years old, she would come to a moment that she would shock the golfing world by her skills. We'll talk about the most jaw-dropping moments in golf history, a moment that left everyone in awe. This will be legendary. Our team dug deep into countless articles, from Essentially Sports, LPGA articles, and ESPN. You won't believe what we discovered. So who exactly is Michelle Wie? An American golfer who competes on the LPGA Tour, Michelle Sung Wie West, was born on October 11, 1989. She made history when she qualified for a USGA Amateur Championship at the tender age of 10. Wie made history by becoming the youngest player to qualify for an LPGA Tour event and the youngest player to win the U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links. There was a flurry of media attention and sponsorship when she made the transition to the professional world in 2005, just before she turned 16. In 2004, she was named the Laureus World Breakthrough Player of the Year. In 2014, she won her maiden major, the U.S. Women's Open. At the time of her professional debut, Wie was not a member of any tour. While most golfers are required to be 18 years old to join the LPGA Tour, a few notable exceptions have been Morgan Pressel and Ari Song, who were able to get memberships when they were 17 years old. Since Wie didn't ask for one, he was only able to play in a handful of LPGA Tour tournaments between 2005 and 2008 thanks to sponsor exemptions. But in 2022, the young golfer startled her supporters by announcing her retirement from the sport. The longtime admirer was pleasantly surprised when the former professional golfer showed up at Augusta National Golf Course. Not only did West tie the knot 3 years ago, but she also welcomed a new baby into the world. She has been a professional golfer since she was 15 years old, thus it is reasonable for her to retire early. Now let's look back at her PGA Tour debut, where she shook the crowd at the 2004 Sony Open in Honolulu. Michelle Wie, a youngster of 14 years old, nearly made it into the Sony Open after shooting 72 and 68 in the round of 36. The youngest player to ever compete in a PGA Tour event, Wie was understandably disappointed. "If I had taken just one more shot, I would have finished in the money," she remarked after making birdies on 2 of the final 3 holes. "It's killing me now." Anyone who believes women don't belong on the same level with men must have found Wie's performance unnerving. At Wailea Country Club, 47 strong guys came in second, with 18 of them holding tour victories. Along with Ben Curtis, the winner of the British Open, she was tied with Jim Furyk, who is currently the champion of the U.S. Open. Wie averaged 271 yards off the tee, which was better than 1/3 of the guys. Thus she held her own in a category where men are nearly invariably clearly superior. "There are sports that lend themselves to co-ed or open competition," remarks Dawn Riley, head of the Women's Sports Foundation and a former America's Cup sailor. "A tall, strong woman can compete with men in golf." Wie is a powerful and 6-foot-tall 9th grader at Pinehurst School on the island of Oahu. Her swing mechanics and pace are almost indistinguishable from those of Ernie Els, a tour star and champion of the Sony Open. Her moniker, the Big Wheezy, is a punchline to Els's, the Big Easy. Her club face creates the same sharp click at impact as, say, Vijay Singh. The other players on the Wailea practice range rolled their eyes and whistled as Wie hit 300-yard drives. Because of her exceptional ball spin, she is able to target pins that are well protected and complete most par 5s in just 2 shots. She possesses a greater range of skill. She's also often compared to Tiger Woods, with her achievements starting from a young age. Now surely you'll remember this, Wie's first ever LPGA title that shocked her fans. At 8 under par, Wie is tied with Angela Stanford for the lead. This is Wie's first competition as a full member of the tour. Up until now, she had only played in tournaments via invitation or exemption. She recovered a 1-stroke deficit to Stanford, who led the first round, with a 2 under par 70 in punishing windy conditions at Turtle Bay. After shooting a second round low of 4 under par 68 for 137, Brazilian Angela Park, who is also aiming for her maiden LPGA victory, will be another formidable competitor. With the LPGA season opener taking place on Oahu, Wie's home island, she will inevitably be the center of attention. She won a tournament on the top women's professional tour before making headlines and drawing criticism for competing in men's PGA Tour events when she was just 19 years old. The idea of a distant triumph is something she is attempting to get out of her head. That would be fantastic. I simply don't want to get that ingrained in my head just yet, she told the official LPGA Tour website. Everyone seems to be asking me that, and I still have one more day to play my best game. Clearly, it would mean a lot. So I'm just going to try and have fun out there. Wie, who qualified for the LPGA Tour in 2008 through qualifying school, shot a round of 74 that included 2 bogeys and 4 birdies, 3 of which were consecutive. Wie won the Lorena Ochoa Invitational, her maiden tour title, after gaining her card through the 2008 LPGA Q School. She beat out fellow American Paula Creamer by 2 shots. On the 18th green, Creamer and Morgan Pressel each poured beer on Wie to celebrate. Michelle Wie's last LPGA Tour, revealing her shocking announcement. A good player is aware of when to leave the field. As time goes on, it becomes more apparent due to a decrease in competitive drive, a weakening of mental resolve, and slightly harder shots. Or, golf becomes less enjoyable and more difficult, rather than a source of true joy. On the other hand, even after a 2-hour warm-up, the body may still malfunction, resulting in a little shorter backswing or a slightly tighter turn. Though Michelle Wie West's competitive spirit remains unwavering, her body has now given her the signal to move on. Few were surprised when she stated last year, during the U.S. Women's Open at Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club, that this week at Pebble Beach would be her last. The 5-time LPGA Tour winner had a tough go of it, trying to compete full-time while dealing with injuries and other physical conditions. She'd spent her whole life in the limelight, practically raised on camera, which made her vulnerable to criticism in the previous decade. More recently, Wie West has shifted her attention away from golf and toward supporting women in sports. Among her many initiatives, she spearheaded the Hoodie for Golf campaign, which raised funds for the LPGA Renee Powell Fund and the Clearview Legacy Foundation through the sale of tie-dye hoodies with the LPGA Tour emblem. While Michelle was certainly a leader, champion, and agent of change, as she made her way up the 18th fairway at Pebble Beach on Friday, it wasn't her that everyone saw. It was golfer Michelle who got the audience pumped up, who kept the chilly onlookers applauding. Just like everyone else, it feels surreal. During her 20-year career on the LPGA Tour, which began when she was 12 years old and ended when she was 33 years old, Wie West experienced both triumphs and tragedies. Michelle Wie's journey in golf has been filled with highs and lows, but it's moments like these that remind us why she's one of the greats. We hope you like this video. If you like this content, click on the next video to explore our next featured golfing celebrity.